my next question was about Brittany Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is there a limit, by the way, to how like harsh I can be on these calls, or no?
Do your worst, Bucko.
Okay. Um, so what exactly happened with Brittany Simon? Like, why don't you talk to her anymore?
I think she got triggered over a tag I gave, and then we just had big disagreements over that, and then, yeah, it's basically that.
Okay. Would you mind if I played devil's advocate for Brittany here?
I don't think I want to dig up old Britney drama. It feels like, why would I do that?
Um, because like I think that like you burned her bridge over much less than someone like Sneeko, right?
Yeah, of
I think
course.
that's a little bit. Yeah. So like, don't you think that you gave her kind of an unfair shake?
Well, no, I considered her an actual friend. I don't think I ever considered Sneeko a friend.
Wait, but if you considered her an actual friend, then how come you like threw away that bridge so easily
Because my standards
compared
for
to
friendships
Sneeko?
are higher than my standards for acquaintances.
Hold on. I feel like you've definitely made it seem like in the past that you were totally really close with Sneeko. And then now
Yeah,
that
I've
like you're
made it
burned
seem
bridge with
like
them, you're
that because
rewriting
you guys see
history.
me hang out with a person in real life 1 or 2 times and you assume that we're close friends. But that's you guys being autistic, not me.
Okay. Um, basically one of the things, what exactly did she do that like made your high standards of her as a friend like totally shatter? Like what exactly did she say
I don't,
that was like,
bro. I mean, like, I feel like our just calm down. I don't know if I want to relitigate the whole Britney thing. I feel like why would I? Because she's gonna get comments on her videos. I'm gonna get more people asking like why. I don't know if there's a purpose to relitigating this whole thing.
no, because like I think it's worth like potentially rebuilding this bridge. I don't
Well,
think she
that's
was
not
that bad of a
happening.
person.
So I don't think she is that bad of a person. I never said she's that bad of a person.
Um, yeah, I would say that if anything, you were kind of the one who was out of pocket in that bridge burning scenario.
Yeah,
Like
that's
you
not
said,
surprising at all that you would feel that way. Yeah.
wait, what do you mean it's not surprising at all? You basically were like, "Oh yeah, I wonder if victims can just walk it off next time they get raped at a party." Like you were
I think
like
that's what I
basically
said
saying something.
verbatim. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
that's like pretty out of pocket.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
pretty.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, so why are you surprised that she got upset at you over that?
I'm an out of pocket kind of guy in a world with not enough pockets.
Okay. So you admit that you were the one in the wrong then in that situation, and that
Absolutely.
you actually don't care that you were a shithead to her instead of the other way around, and that you burned bridges because you were an asshole.
Nope.
She said things like you were bad at relationships,
Hmm.
which is true.
Yeah, is it?
Um, yeah, you're pretty bad at relationships. You're pretty dysfunctional.
How do you? By what? Aren't you 21? How could? What do you even know what a relationship looks like?
Yeah, of course I do. And also, I'm not 21.
You're like 20. You're 23 at the most, at the absolute oldest.
Okay, you're just psychoanalyzing me now, like Mr. Girl.
No, I
You
know I'm correct.
Okay, whatever you say. But like, you absolutely are
Hold on,
pretty
wait, wait, wait. If
dysfunctional.
I offer to send you $50, if you send me your driver's license and you're over the age of 23, would you do that?
If you make me an orbiter, I'll tell you. But no.
Okay.
What I was gonna say was, you absolutely are dysfunctional. You've done insane shit throughout your career that like most people would agree is like pretty insanely dysfunctional for your relationships.
Insane
She
shit.
wasn't wrong to say that.
I've really done insane shit.
Yeah. Like, didn't you, oh, well, I don't know if I should say that, but you've done some insane shit. Like, I guess, what about that time you f***ed your own Discord moderator or whatever? Or not Discord moderator, you f***ed, the Twitch, the Twitch moderator or whatever. This was like a few years ago. I think you did that, right?
Which?
And then like she had a meltdown on stream about it, and you were like trying to like tame everything down. Like, clearly, like, that was an insane thing, whatever happened.
What am I talking? What are we talking about here?
It was, okay. We were on, this was like a few years ago. It was like, I think her name was Eris? I don't remember.
Do you think she was just a Discord moderator?
Not a Discord moderator, a Twitch moderator, and you fucked her, and then, you know, you maybe let her on or something. Something dysfunctional.
You understand that that was like a girlfriend of mine for 6 years, right?
Okay, well, why were you still dating her and f***ing her, and then why did she have a meltdown?
Don't you think before you come at me with these like heavy-handed accusations of impropriety, you should at least like have any idea who you're talking about?
Okay. Well, what about okay. What about that OCD girl, right?
Yeah, sometimes
You were
go into the cookie jar. It's not good.
No, you can't just play it off as a meme. That seriously was pretty insane. You f***ed her. She had a mental breakdown. Clearly, she wasn't mentally capable of handling it. And then you just did it again afterwards. Like, that's completely insane. That's actually psychotic.
Okay, so I'm not gonna say that I'm a perfect person, but if
no, hold on, it's more than being not a perfect person.
Sure, I agree, yeah. But if like the most insane shit I've done in my life is I f***ed somebody that I probably shouldn't have f***ed, does that really make me that insane? Does that really make me that crazy? I feel like there's a whole basket of things people can do in life that is like really deplorable and really insane. Is that really where we're at now, where it's like, oh my god, this person is like if you were telling friends, right, there's this guy, and oh my god, this dude is he's one of the most unhinged motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. And it's like, really? It's like, yeah, this dude is on another level of psychopathy, okay? He's just fucking wild. It's like, oh my god, what did he do? And you're like, well, one time there was this girl with OCD, and he fucked her after they had kind of already like split. And it was like, yeah, he definitely shouldn't have. Is that really like...
Okay. How about this? What about that time that you fantasized about murdering that 16-year-old and his dad?
The guy that was depriving me of income so that I couldn't take care of my family? That guy?
Okay. For starters, I'm positive you had not tried anywhere near enough before resorting to murder.
I mean, I fully doxed the kid. I called multiple members of his entire family. I got into an email back and forth with his father, and I had 3 different interviews with the FBI. What else was I supposed to do?
You said that you could have pursued a legal route to sue those guys, and you said you didn't because it would have been too hard or something like that. I talked to
somebody about pursuing a potential legal route. He told me that I was looking at, and I was not as wealthy back then as I was now. He said I was looking at a minimum of $50,000, a court case that would drag out for over a year, and that I had absolutely no guarantee to win because of the sophisticated level of technology involved. That trying to explain to a jury what a DDoS was or whatever would be an unbelievably high threshold to overcome in like a civil case like that.
All I'm saying is, even if you can throw whatever excuses you want out, like that is, nobody would just say like, oh, I gotta solve my problem by murdering a kid. Like there was probably more options there had to have been more options you could have exhausted. The fact that you were just like, well, you know, I tried nothing and it still didn't work, so it's time to murder a child. It's like, dude, that's fucking insane. Again,
if I had tried
total
nothing,
disregard for human.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't literally try nothing, but you tried very little. Like you tried.
Really? Tell me what else I should have tried.
You should have tried going through with a legal route. You could have.
The legal route would have left me broke. I would have been out of a job by then. I would have been bankrupt. It would have been over for me. Legal route was pointless. Impossible.
You could have tried holding out. Maybe you could have tried talking to the kid a little bit more.
The kid was harassing me for months and months. Every time I tried talking to him, he just made fun of me more. What would be the point of that?
Try talking to his parents.
I tried talking to his dad.
Just because he was getting
sue me. His dad made fun of me and told me that his son was more intelligent than I ever would be, and that I should try making friends with him instead.
Well, yeah, maybe you should try. I mean, listen, life is never totally fair. I agree with that. Like sometimes you're put in a situation that you don't deserve.
True, and sometimes
But,
people
like,
murder you because you fuck with their income. That's life. I agree. It's not fair all the time.
no, wait, no. That's so childish though. Like revenge or like just petty murder just
It's
because.
not revenge, and it's not petty. It would have been self-defense of my income.
Not. Oh god, this is Kyle Rittenhouse all over again. This
Well,
the
Kyle
utter
Rittenhouse was
disregard for human
exonerated,
life.
So I mean, okay, I agree. Thank
He
you.
was-
If you think I'm Kyle Rittenhouse,
he
that's
was-
fine. He beat his case, so amen, brother.
He was legally exonerated, but morally murdering two people for the most dumb reason ever was stupid. Just like how you murdering those two people would have been really stupid, although maybe legally justified or whatever.
Oh, base. Well, as long as I'm legally justified, I'm Gucci gang.
So you admit that you're an insane shitty person then. Good.
Yeah, you know, if that's how you want to read it, sure thing, bucko.
What about... Alright, so I've listed like 3 different things that you did that were super insane. How about... And I'll keep throwing more at you. What about how you, some of the things you've done, like, the amount of, like, out-of-pocket things you've said about black people, right?
Is it really that insane
Like,
to be racist? Like, would you say every racist person is insane?
I would say that it doesn't help your case, right? Like the fact that you were publicly, you're like the only person on the internet who was publicly making the opinion that like, you know, white people should be allowed to say the N-word in private. Like, why did you need to say?
I'm the only person who's ever made that case before.
The only like notable Twitch streamer who did, yeah. Like, did you need to make that statement? Regardless of even if it's even true that like, oh yeah, we should be allowed to say it in private, which is like, even if it's true, why did you feel the need to say it?
I don't know, man. Maybe I am just unhinged.
Okay. So, alright. How about you eating chicken and waffles with a Nazi? How is that not fucking insane?
That was pretty crazy. One of the craziest days of my life, I think.
You're such
Did
a
you see the part where he called that one guy that was walking by? He was like, "Is that a Jew?" Did you remember that part? Wasn't that wild?
Yeah, and then you got an erection when he did because you love crazy people.
No, the erection came later when I watched him and ABBA double team my wife while I sat in the cuck chair in the corner. Me and Sneeko both sat and watched.
Based. No, but you absolutely... Okay. Let me...
I'll let you. I'll let
switch.
you.
Let me switch.
Switch
Let me
up.
switch gears a little bit.
Go ahead.
You had a debate
Mm-hmm.
with Nick Fuentes recently on Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, I did. True.
And in your infinite wisdom, you thought to engage with this and platform this guy again.
Yeah.
And regardless, you choosing to debate him and challenge his ideas publicly means that you're kind of publicly shut as fair against the status quo of, you know, not being a Nazi.
I'm kind of publicly what?
Okay, you know what? How do you think you did in that debate against him?
I think it went okay, but against a guy like that, I usually want to do better than just okay. But
Yeah, you did pretty horrible.
I don't think I did pretty horrible, but I think I did okay.
Definitely did do pretty horrible. I mean, afterwards you were like, afterwards on multiple occasions you were like, "Oh, Nick, please debate me again. Let me have a rematch so I can redeem myself." Like, yeah, of course he was gonna say no and not debate you again after you outlived your usefulness because you were just a useful idiot to him.
Yeah. Is that what your parents say about you for the child tax credit?
Okay, so you admit that you didn't do well in the debate. You did poorly.
I think I did okay. Could have done better, but
Well, then why were you begging Nick Fuentes to debate you again and kissing his feet?
how am I kissing his feet by asking for another debate?
You were like tweeting like, "Oh, he's just scared. Please debate me again, Nick. No, his audience is like forcing me not to go on. They don't want me to get a rematch because I got crushed last time." And even your subreddit was saying the same thing too.
Oh, well, if my subreddit was saying it. Fuck me. You got me there.
Okay. So, just by the way, that when you fail in these debates, you know, that this shows that like this whole absolutist freedom of speech, like, oh yeah, the good ideas will always rise to the top no matter what automatically. Just want to let you know that like with this debate, you getting kind of crushed a little bit
Mm-hmm.
shows that that's not always the case.
Wow, true. We should just end all discourse in the United States. I agree. That's the most
Not end all
intelligent position.
discourse. Wait, hold on.
Well, we don't want to risk ever like losing a debate, right? We should probably just end everything, yeah? Wouldn't that be like the safest route? Do you want to risk losing a debate against a Nazi?
We can just ignore debate. We can just ignore debates with Nazis altogether. We're the majority, right? The majority of the population is against Nazis. They have everything to gain by debating us, and we have nothing to gain and everything to lose by debating them.
Oh.
So your stupid ideology of just being like, oh yeah, let's just debate them for no reason and give them a chance to gain credence with their ideology, like they did with you just now with Nick, right?
Yeah. I never thought about it that way. True.
What are you? Is something okay? My prescription would be,
tell me,
1, to avoid engaging with Nazis.
Okay.
They have nothing to gain and everything to lose by us engaging with them.
Nothing to lose and everything to gain, but yeah, go ahead.
Or nothing to lose and everything to gain, yeah. And mild limitations on free speech, kind of like what they have in a lot of European countries.
Let me just say this. One second. Americans are Nazis.
What?
He just hit you up with the Americans are Nazis. You probably agree with him, actually.
Yeah, I would say like 20 to 30% of the population is like Nazis, but like they're a minority. They can't do anything.
20 to 30%?
Or okay, hold on. 20 to 30% are like conservatives that are kind of radical, and some of those conservatives in and of themselves are Nazis. There.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank God. So only like 15% of Americans are Nazis in your worldview.
Wait. Okay. Do you think that like we make largely property by just like sitting down and talking with every single person who is like segregation during like the civil rights movement? Do you think Martin Luther King was like, you know what, let's sit down next to all these, pro Jim, have a conversation with them. Let's like gradually convert each and every single one of them through conversation for the next 3 decades, just slowly de-radicalize them, and then that's how we make great progress. Like, do you think that's how we do it, by just making sure everyone gets together and we're all friends and dandy, and how we're all just friends? What we need to do?
Yeah, I think so, actually, yeah.
That's what Martin Luther King did to stop civil rights, huh? Or to help civil rights, right?
Seems like it about that.
No, what he did was he gathered support from the majority that already agreed with him, and then he just mobilized to legislate things, and the minority that didn't follow along with him basically just had to suck it and follow along with it anyway.
If the majority was already pro-civil rights, then why did Jim Crow laws exist?
Well, he had to rally them first, but like, yeah, once the majority's been rallied to have an opinion against it,
they just needed to
like,
get rallied. They were already. The majority was already there. They just needed to be rallied.
I mean, kinda, yeah. That's what happened. That's how.
Oh, wow. Okay, never thought about it that way.
Okay. All right. How about this? Destiny. Okay. A subredditor in your community made a post recently that made a good point about how you don't like racists like Bruce or FD Signifier, but you're perfectly okay with hanging out with crazy people like Quiznos, crazy racist people like Quiznos or Zerka. So, what would you say to that subreddit post in response?
I have different expectations on people based on what their kind of like their jobs are. So like Zerka's just like a loser goofball. Like, I'm not expecting serious political commentary from him. He doesn't sell himself as such, although he still has an influence. But people like FD Signifier like sell themselves as YouTube academics, so I have a much higher expectation for the type of content that they make.
And why don't they clear that bar for you, in your opinion?
I just don't like people that spread around this idea that like everybody's racist, everybody's a Nazi. Like, even you just unwittingly made the claim that like 10 to 20 million Americans are Nazis. It's kind of a insane claim to make, but you just think your mind.
Okay,
like
I never said. that many people, but I am saying that a lot of conservatives are extreme today.
That's about what you said. About half the Conservative Party is you said 10 to 20% of the Conservative Party is racist or Nazi. I think you said about half the country is conservative, right? So if I say we'll say 100
okay, I
million
was
people.
being a little hyperbolic. Okay, be a little bit more charitable. So you just don't like that they call certain people like you racist. You don't like when FD signifier calls people like you racist. Basically, is that it?
Not just me, but sure, I can be one of them. Yeah.
Okay. So you think that like it's just you hate the idea that they can come to the conclusion that you're racist. You think that's inconceivable that you're racist.
Sure.
Okay. So to be clear, you do have a noticeable pattern of takes and behaviors against black people though, right?
No, I don't think so.
You once went on Twitter and started shitting on a CNN article that said a group of black people killing a black man might have still been racism. You like eagerly tried shooting down that take, even though they explicitly said that it might have been systemic racism, not.
I read the entire article that was posted by the man that did it. We can go back to the stream and revisit it, but I just think it's a bit laughable when we got into an area where every single thing in society can be caused by white supremacy. Then it's probably not even worth talking about. If four black cops killing one black man is also white supremacy, it just seems like there's probably other factors at play, and to call all of it white supremacy is a tad reductive in our social analysis, I think.
He said that, first of all, that it might have still been racism, not that it definitively was. I think that's reasonable to interpret that this could have been still systemic racism, like black cops being so unbelievably violent, lynching another black guy.
And you know what the issue was with his take?
What?
There was absolutely zero evidence in his article that there was any racism involved. I'm pretty sure that was my problem with the article.
Yeah, even if there wasn't any hard evidence, like to posit that it could...
There wasn't any hard or soft evidence. There was no evidence whatsoever. There was zero evidence. None. Zero.
Even if you want to say that they didn't have evidence to posit that there is a chance something couldn't be the case, which, yeah, that is true. There was a chance that it could have still been systemic racism even without evidence.
Okay.
But the fact that you so eagerly, like, shot it down, like, no, it definitely was systemic racism. Racism doesn't exist anymore. We defeated racism. It's like, that's a little bit strange for you to so eagerly want to shut down ideas that, like, black people can be dealing with racism.
Okay. True.
The fact that you didn't want it to have any charitability to take the article at face value when they open racism.
Well, to be clear, like, I'm pretty sure the guy that wrote the article was black, so.
So
why would I take
what
it
does that have to
seriously?
Do with it? Okay, what you said just right there in and of itself is kind of racist.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, don't like white people generally write better articles on these types of topics?
Are you trolling me right now?
Well, no, I'm just saying in general. Like, if you go and look at CNN and you look at all the people that write on, like, cop violence stuff, isn't it usually white people?
Wait, you are literally... That's discriminatory what you're saying right now.
Discrimination isn't always bad. If I only want to hire college students instead of high school students, that's also discriminatory.
No, but that's a different type of discrimination, right?
Well, why is that discrimination okay, but discriminating against who I trust for articles is not okay? Like, would I trust a white guy to tell me what the best rap music is of, like, the 80s and 90s?
That's asking for like an opinion on like how to enjoy on like certain types of music. That's harmless. But saying that like, oh, you're black, so you're not allowed to have an opinion on other black people murdering other black people.
Hold on, he's
like,
absolutely allowed to have an opinion. You just put those words in my mouth. I just said I wouldn't take it as seriously.
Yeah, but that in and of itself is kind of racist. Why would you say like, oh yeah, I don't take it as seriously unless you have white skin? Like,
I don't know. It just seems like most of the people that write articles on that on CNN tend to be white. So I just trust them more on it.
So if you're walking out on the street, a black guy walking down the street next to you, you're not going to trust that black guy to not rob you as much because black commit more crime? Is that that's the same type of logic you're applying there?
I'm going to be honest. I think that if anybody was to ever break the record of Usain Bolt's 100-meter sprint, I think it would probably be you seeing a black guy on the sidewalk across from you and then you running to the other side of the street. You come off to me like you would move faster than lightning.
Okay. So you just kind of just obfuscated just now. You didn't really engage with what I just said.
I wouldn't cross the street.
pointed
I'd
at-
walk up to him and I'd give him the handshake, where you do the clap, pull back with the fingers, and then snap as you pull away. Because I've been in LA long enough to know how to shake hands with my fellow Crips. Because that's who I am, Crip Mac 55. Keep it 55 on God, cuz.
All right. Well, you once okay. So you're just gonna obfuscate. You also once said a black lady it was to a black lady in a video you were watching recently. I think it was in the context of like that one bike lady Karen, and that group of black kids. And you told that black lady like, "Oh, go back to Africa." Haha, just kidding, not really, but also kind of seriously. Like again, I'm seeing a pattern here of racist behaviors and like racist, ironic but also not ironic jokes against black people. Like it seems pretty. And you don't, and you're still going to say like, what is your response to that? To telling the black lady to go back to Africa?
I don't know. Maybe she would have been happier back there.
So you're still going to tell me that it's inconceivable that FD Signify, even after everything I just listed, why FD Signifier would call you racist? You really think it's like, oh, it's inconceivable. How could anyone in their right mind find me racist?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're admitting that you're just a shithead and that FD Signifier is perfectly reasonable then.
What I'm saying is that if the year was 1730, I would have the biggest plantation of any of the other white men. It would be the most successful one. I would have the biggest, strongest workers, and everybody would respect and revere me.
Oh my goodness. Why did you donate $10,000 just to spite FD Signifier?
To kill black people.
No, what was the actual reason why?
To arrest black people so they die in prison.
What was the actual reason why?
To provide money to the cops so they could buy more crack for black neighborhoods.
What was the actual reason why you burned $10,000 of your own money against poor FD Signifier, who was literally open to building a bridge with you?
First of all, he was not open to building a bridge with me. Alright, give us your final thoughts, okay? I'm tired now.
I can tell you're tired from being racist.
Yeah.
My final question, I guess, since you just conceded everything to me during this debate because you're tired, and also because I won, can I shout out my socials?
You can shout out one of them.
Twitch.tv//